Today, our guest is Elie Bimenyimana, current student at Cyprus Institute in Environmental Science here to discuss COVID-19 pandemic and climate change. Social habits and daily mobilization are limited and almost all flights have been cancelled. Many of us work from home. Transportation and barrier to our businesses around the world is at minimum. Lives are at stake, physically and mentally, due to COVID-19 pandemic, by climate change and its relation with the pandemic. United Nations Environmental Chief Inga Anderson told in a recent interview to the UK-based newspaper The Guardian that 75% of all emerging infectious diseases come from wildlife. If we don't take care of our nature, we can't take care of ourselves. Carbon emissions have been reduced. Climate change seems not far away problem. Although, what do you think professionally concerning climate change in relation with COVID-19, as well as how things can be back to normality?
It is well known that greenhouse gases warm the atmosphere by absorbing long-wave radiation. The same thing for some particulate matter, such as black carbon, which is also called soot. During this period of lockdown, due to COVID-19 pandemic, emission of greenhouse gases, namely carbon monoxide, nitrous oxide, methane, and so on, as well as particulate matter from human activities such as conversion of fossil fuel, industries, and so on, has decreased. This means that the human-induced climate change has been greatly slowed down.
Arundhati Roy recently described COVID-19 as portal. What is this thing that has happened to us? It's a virus, yes. In and of itself, it holds no moral brief, but it is definitely more than a virus. Some believe it's God's way of bringing us to our senses, others that it's a Chinese conspiracy to take over the world. Whatever it is, coronavirus has made the mighty kneel and brought the world to a halt like nothing else could. Our minds are still racing back and forth, longing for a return to normality, trying to stitch our future to our past and refusing to acknowledge the rupture. But the rupture exists, and in the midst of this terrible despair, it offers us a chance to rethink the doomsday machine we have built for ourselves. Nothing could be worse than a return to normality. Historically, pandemics have forced humans to break with the past and imagine their world anew. This one is no different. It is a portal, a gateway between one world and the next.
The good side of COVID-19 is that air pollution in many regions of the planet, especially Europe, China, and US, has been reduced. So government should take some measure that could help to keep this clean air after this pandemic. This measure could be the use of new technologies for cars, especially electric cars. They could be the reduce of number of cars per family and use of public transportation. They could also try other types of energy like solar energy, like wind power, and so on. We should know that tackling climate change is a struggle that everyone should be involved in, because it's a global challenge that the whole planet is facing, since atmospheric warming induced in China or somewhere else affect everyone. It doesn't only affect the region where it is produced. I would also like to mention that in some regions of the planet, they are still burning domestic waste without any precautions. A lot of dangerous pollutants are emitted, and some of them can travel further for long distance due to their long lifetime. So government need to think of a way to process and recycle this waste. This will not only help to improve air quality, it will also be a solution to global warming.
Yeah, they tell you that you should quit trying. You were too small, that you were too young. They tell you the chance is too slim, the world is too big, but you say how come? I'm ready to light a new fire, raise a new flag, to cross a new sea. And if I'm ever the one in your way, then put your head down and run right through me.
So why keep settling for so much less? Don't take what's given, just demand what's next. We're looking for an open door, some we didn't see before, some way to get out of here, a plot twist that we didn't see coming. We're looking for an open door, some we didn't see before, and when we get out of here, we'll never stop running.
It's something like a shadow in the valley, colossal. Open up your eyes, young one, and be watchful. Behind closed doors, trying to write a new gospel. They are not God, they're not even apostles. I come with the dumb drum banging you breathless. Enemies freeze, left bent and defenseless. Straight for the chest of anybody against us. The more they resist it, the more that they tempt us.
So why keep settling for so much less? Don't take what's given, just demand what's next. We're looking for an open door, some we didn't see before, some way to get out of here, a plot twist that we didn't see coming. We're looking for an open door, some we didn't see before, and when we get out of here, we'll take off and never stop running. No, we'll never stop running. No, we'll never stop running. When we get that open door, no, we'll never stop running. So why keep settling for so much less? Don't take what's given, just demand what's next.